Do you need your master's to get a PhD? Very common question, and there are some nuances to that. First, I'm going to be diving into specifically US-based institutions. If you're looking at Europe or abroad, the answer might be different. So I want to give a little background and then give you one question to ask yourself so you can evaluate if you need your master's or not. Yes, it is true in the US, you do not need your master's to apply to a PhD. Again, some departments or programs may specify that they want that, and you need to read the fine print, but most of them, it is not required. So of course you can apply without your master's. Yes. Here's the kicker. A lot of people have masters. 13% of the US population has a graduate degree. Only 3% of the US population has a PhD. I don't know the overlap. I highly doubt it's 100% of PhDs have their masters, but what I'm getting at is you're competing against lots of people who may have really strong profiles. Just because they have their masters doesn't mean that they're a more competitive candidate than you at all. All masters are not created equal. So in the PhD landscape, they are looking for research experience. So if your master's was research-based, or you made a thesis or a project, or you got to really collect data and do things a little more independently, that is great research experience. That counts. If you did an online master's where you just took tests and submitted papers, not as enticing. Still valuable, but you see the different layers here and what's going to make you more and more competitive. So I want to call that out. So the question that you need to ask yourself when you're applying to PhDs is, do I need a master's? If you have research experience, the answer is no. If you did, a semester in undergrad or an internship or a summer, that is research experience that qualifies you to apply for a PhD. If you do not have research experience, you probably need a master's to help bridge that gap. Not required, not all the time. Maybe you have a lot of great professional experience or outside work that counts, but I want you to really evaluate yourself. And if the answer again is no, I'm lacking research experience, you may want to think about getting a master's to help bridge that gap. And I know it's more time and energy and it's not what you want to do, but think about it this way. If you're going to keep applying to PhD programs again and again and wasting your time, energy, and money and getting the same rejections, then it's time to make a change. So you can either get more research experience, like, as a job, that's definitely welcome to you. You can be a research associate or a clinical coordinator, different options, or you can get a master's as well to bridge that gap. Those are both available to you. So the other thing that comes up is does getting a master's save you time once you start your PhD? And the answer is yeah, but hard to say. What I mean, so for me personally, I did my master's, then worked 2 years, then went back for my PhD. So the master's helped me be more effective once I started my PhD, for sure. I was able to hit the ground running. I kind of knew a lot more stuff, and it allowed me to get my projects going quicker, which saved me time. But if you're asking, do the classes and the credits transfer? Not really. Maybe some, and it depends on the school, but usually to get a PhD, you need to take X number of credit hours. So even if you took Stats 101 in your master's, you might not need to take it again in your PhD, but you're going to need to take another 3-credit course, right? So you do get to pick. You have a lot more autonomy about what courses you take, but you still are going to have to take some coursework. Of course, there's all these independent electives and things that will be helpful for you, but I want to point that out that it's not that you can just count your master's directly towards your PhD. Again, it depends. A lot of people getting their PhD that do not have their master's get their master's on the way. That means they're literally just handing you a piece of paper midway through and saying, good job, keep going. For me, since I already had my master's, I did not get a second master's during my PhD, which is fine. I didn't need one. So that's typically how things work in the US. You kind of get your master's along the way if you don't already have one. So again, for you to determine if you need a master's, the answer is it is very dependent on your background and having research experience. If you have plenty of that, then it's just about marketing yourself and making your application really stand out. If you're lacking research experience and lacking a master's, you may want to consider getting one or the other or both to make you more competitive so you can get into these fully funded, prestigious PhD programs.